In what way is it expensive to be poor? My car has a leaky seal on the transmission. It'd be about $250 to replace the seal and flush the transmission. I don't have $250, so I keep topping up the fluid and keep driving it because I'll never get $250 if I don't get to work. But, in time, that's going to destroy the transmission, which will be about $1,200 to replace. Edit, I never thought I'd say this in my entire life, but please stop offering me money. I know. I'm insane, right? I'm getting by and my world will not end if my car dies. It will be irritating and problematic, but I have other options I can make work, if the worst happens. In the meantime, plans are in place to resolve the issue and I have every reason to think that my car will survive until I can repair it. I cannot tell you how much these offers mean to me. It has really made my night to have so many people want to help. Please, I ask you to turn your generous offers to others who are in a much more dire situation than I am. There are several who commented on other threads on this post, as well as at least one who commented on this thread. I would not feel comfortable taking money under these circumstances when I have other options available to me. In short, other people here need it more. Know that your kindness has made me smile on a day when really needed some brightness. I cannot put into words my gratitude. Thank you all. As long as you keep fluid in it and don't let it get low, it can hold you over for a while. It's good to have blue-collar friends. I fix cars for my friends and family all the time and I never ask for money. I would recommend trying to fix it yourself if you are familiar with tools and know someone who has them. You would be surprised how much YouTube has helped me fix and modify cars. Best of luck, homie. I messaged you. I saw a lady coming out of the laundromat, loading her baskets of clothes into a taxi. There is zero other public transport where I saw this happen and only a few taxis. Not being able to put enough money together at one time to buy a car or a washing machine, she probably rented, so this maybe wasn't even an option, was costing her a fortune. Just being nickeled and dimed to death. I've seriously walked my laundry basket over a mile to the bus stop on a regular basis. Not fun times. Laundromats are expensive as hell too. Man, it's gotta be $30 at a minimum every time she does laundry. When bank fees are waived if you keep more than $X amount in your account, but they start charging for the account when the amount drops under the minimum. Yep. These happened to me after the outbreak. $1K minimum balance or we start charging your poor ass. My former bank did that, so I ended up closing my bank account and opening a free account at a credit union. Edit, brain got fuzzled for words lol. There are late fees for everything. Overdraft fees at the bank. Shitty jobs usually don't have good healthcare plans. If you're poor, you need credit cards just to survive, but interest rates are higher for those with low credit scores. See late fees above. Shitty cars are always breaking down, and that's expensive. I do love that logic. Oh, you're too poor to pay us right now? How about we make you pay even more money? Yeah, that'll show you. If you're well off, you buy one pair of boots for $150 and they last a lifetime. If you're poor, you buy boots for $30 and they last a winter. You end up spending more, because you can't afford to spend more. Terry Pratchett uses it to explain poverty via Sam Vines in one of his City Watch books. If you're ever desperate enough to take out a title/payday loan, you'll discover you just stepped in financial quicksand. About a year and a half ago I forgot to leave enough money in my bank account for a payment that needed to be done. It wasn't much, around $500 maybe, but didn't want the late payment and fees that come with it, so I decided to look into the payday loans. I needed $500 to last until Friday, when I would be paid. I checked on it on Monday. When I was to click accept, I read the entire thing. It said I had to pay back $950 if I paid on Friday. Or about $2,500 if I went with their payment plan. I noped out of that bullshit as fast as I could, called my bank and I luckily had overdraft protection or whatever. Payment went through and all I had to pay was like $15 or something for the overdraft. I had to pawn my car title a couple years ago due to unforeseen hardship. While I was thankful I had the option, it was definitely far more expensive than I liked. Survived it, though, and have been working on my credit score so I never end up in that situation again. Renting to own anything is really bad. You pay 4x the value of whatever it is you're renting to own. And if you miss a payment they repossess it and someone else might start at the beginning of attempting to pay for it again. Not only that, you very well might be paying 4x the new value for a used item. And only low quality items are sold rent to own. Ashley Furniture, shitty used cars, the cheapest big screen TVs available at wholesale. Houses might be better, but Rent-A-Center and JD Buy Rider are worse than loan sharks. I used to have a friend who had a habit, almost an addiction, to making terrible financial decisions. He bought a 50-inch flat screen TV from some rent-to-own center and was paying $40 a week for it. I looked up the TV and it was $369 at Best Buy. He had agreed to pay $40 a week for this TV for a year to own it. I told him that if he returned it he could save up for 2 months and go and buy the thing and save $1,600, and he looked at me like I had just fucked his dog. He's the same guy that had a debt at a check advance place for $200. He had to pay $25 in fees every single week. His paychecks were $240, so he would get his paycheck, go to the check cashing place, pay off the $225, and then take out another $200 advance. One day he was complaining to me about always having to pay the $225 to the check advance place. I asked him why didn't he just pay it off and go a week without? He said he had bills. I understand. So I said, why not just take out $175 next time, and that way you don't have to pay back so much. You could cut it $25 a week and be out from underneath them in 8 weeks or less. He looked at me like I went back for round 2 with his dog. Some people just can't do basic math or delay their need for instant gratification. Obviously, making $240 a week, he wasn't in the best financial situation to begin with, but he was actively making it worse on himself with his bad decisions. Poverty sucks. When I was little my mom got a bed for me through some rent-to-own place. Things came up and well, a few weeks later they came and repossessed my bed. There is just something very defeating about seeing people come into your house and walk out with your bed. Probably for the best though, she would have paid at least double the real cost of the bed and it wasn't even comfortable. Being stuck with higher interest rates because you don't have enough credit to get low rates. Also, having to pay interest at all. If you're able to pay for a college education or a house with money you have in the bank, that's much cheaper than having to take out a loan you have to pay back with interest. The fact that rent payments aren't added into the credit score equation is bullshit. Or even just into mortgage lending. How a lender can ignore me paying upwards of $1,500 a month in rent while contemplating a mortgage loan that is equivalent to $850 a month. You'd think that would be a pretty safe bet right there. The poor pay interest, and the rich collect it. If I ever get real rich, I hope I'm not real mean to poor people, like I am now. Jack Handy. Turning $10 into $100 is hard work. Turning $100 million into $110 million is an eventuality. Go buy food in the hood and compare the prices to the suburbs. Way more. Then when you try to shop for food in the suburbs you get followed around and harassed for being out of place. Everything is so expensive in the hood. I'm trying so hard to eat healthy, but when an entire fast food meal is often the same price as just one component of a healthy meal, you know which one I often choose. You can seldom buy in bulk, so you end up paying more for things. For example, our local butchery sells ground beef cheap if you buy 2 kilograms or more at a time. If you're paid weekly and can afford only 500 grams per week, you end up paying more. Buying in bulk is a huge money saver. And it's so damn expensive. You don't just need the money in advance to buy the groceries. You also need a freezer or cooler large enough to store it. And of course a vehicle to get it home. So many things to prepay before you can start saving. Another reason for not being able to buy in bulk, you live in a tiny freaking place with no room for storage. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.